Okay, let's get into it then. Velo Adelaide 500, the mighty return to Adelaide it has been, and plenty of fairy tale storylines to dissect. Fitting a bloke named Brock should win the last Holden race. That's something that I've seen a lot of people say online today. And congratulations, mate, on getting that first win here today. You've had a few minutes. You've done about 5 trillion interviews and probably taken a few selfies and signed some autographs. Seen the family, seen the bosses. Is it starting to sink in now what you've achieved here today?
I suppose it did when I walked out on the podium and everyone was screaming. I didn't realise how much stuff goes on when you win a race. You get out and you're getting pulled in every direction. So, it's been pretty cool. But I'm sure later on tonight it'll sink in and realise what we've achieved. But pretty special moment walking out in front of all the fans, everyone cheering, and good send-off for Holden.
A lot of people have likened your first win here to Jamie's first win back in 2006, especially Roland Dane, who was the one who really called it out on the coverage. How does that sit with you?
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. For sure, I wanted to get the first win all year, and I left it pretty late. But the car was awesome, and everything sort of fell our way today. But we had good speed as well, so I knew it was coming. It was a matter of time. I just had to put all the pieces together. So to do it, perfect way to send off the year.
I imagine that's the longest you've led a race for ever in just about any category. How did you mentally get yourself through those laps of trying to make sure that you were mistake-free?
Yeah, I felt pretty good out front, probably calmer than what I do when I'm normally in the pack. It's I could just focus on what I had to do and just, focus on a lap time and trying to manage the gap behind. But, for sure, I mean, that last stint, I was trying not to get ahead of myself and just trying to focus on, pushing and keeping myself concentrated because it's pretty easy to get carried away. But, I was just doing my thing. I was driving around and just told the guys on the radio to keep me nice and calm and keep me focused, and just had to keep chipping away.
You had your engineer up on the podium with you, his first race win as well. So special to be able to share that with Martin?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I felt bad everyone else has got up on the podium this year, but my boys have sort of been holding back. So, it's good to get him up there. He's a rookie as well. So to get the first race win, they helped me massively today. Had great strategy, had a super fast car. So great to have him up there.
And to have mum and dad here, as well as a good family friend and Mick Doohan, all in the garage today. Did that make it a little bit more special?
For sure. Mum and dad, basically come to all the rounds, but to celebrate with those guys. I saw Jack after the race. I said, you're going to have to come to all of these races now. You must be my lucky charm. But it's just pretty special. A lot of people that supported me here. So I'm sure we'll all celebrate hard tonight.
There was once upon a time in your life when a young Brock Feeney had eyes for 2 wheels and potentially reaching the heights of MotoGP. Are you glad that you've gone down the pathway that you have? That karting trip in Thailand that you took that ignited the flame?
100%. That's the best holiday I've ever been on. I'd probably be busted up at this point if I stuck with 2 wheels. So, pretty glad the way I went.
Congratulations, mate.
Thanks,
Big
mate.
Day for you. Hopefully get plenty of chances to enjoy it. We'll go to Chaz, who chased him all the way home. Hey, just the weekend, mate, just overview. Big win yesterday, big day for Holden again today, and just how you'll feel leaving Adelaide.
Yeah, unreal. I think if you said on Friday that you'd get to Saturday and Sunday, Holden would win the race. Walkinshaw would win the race, go 1-2 on Saturday, and then you'd have another 1-2 with 2 more Holdens on Sunday. You'd almost think you'd want to buy a lotto ticket. So we fought really hard today. Tried to push Brock as hard as I could to the finish line, but when I wake up tomorrow morning, I'll just purely think about Saturday. I think that was so amazing for our team and go that 1-2. But today was awesome. I enjoyed the race to the finish. I gave it everything. Tried to use up my strikes there at the end across the curbs and had plenty of attitude with the car. But the young bloke, he channeled his inner Lounsey, I think. And, the kid around here did pretty good today.
Did Brock surprise you in that last stint with what he was capable of doing and given the sheer pressure you were putting on him?
No, not at all. He's in this sport for a reason. And, we'd like to talk about the Norwell Motorplex and stuff like that. And over the years, popped out there and been in a car beside him before in a Toyota 86 and seen what he's able to do behind the wheels. So I knew I had to try and channel my 86 out there to try and catch him. But he's pretty good in those things too. So, I tried my hardest to try and get the win for our team today. Come up a bit short, and I just hope that it was a good good viewing race from the stands and from the fans. And like I said a little bit, it's kind of fitting that the Holden Motorsport team won today.
Well done, mate.
Thanks.
Killer weekend for you too. Let's go over to Anton, and really well done. Gee, it was just an absolute street fight out there. It looked like you were really wanting for particularly front end grip throughout the course of that race. Was that just the maybe getting off in the dirty stuff at some times, or was it just a hard thing to drive at some points?
I think it was quite good. First in out in front, I was all pretty comfortable, and then safety car changed it up a little bit, so we lost that track position and never got it back, and that's where we were for the rest of the race. So, obviously, as soon as you go offline here, it gets pretty crazy, so that happened a couple times, but a lot less than yesterday. I think most of us learnt from yesterday's mistakes and put into practice today, but yeah, happy to be on the podium, get a pole to finish off the year. It's pretty good.
How important was that last pit stop and the close call with Chaz, and just how crazy it was with the stacking that was going on in the lane as well?
Yeah, there's a bit going on, so hard to get out of there, obviously, with the two cars in front of us and then Chaz next to me. Had a bit going on, so I'm not sure how we didn't touch it at some point, but we made our way through it. But yeah, I mean, ideally would have popped out in front, but it wasn't meant to be.
Well done in qualifying. The team were really quick, front row lockout, which is pretty cool to see. And just your thoughts on being a part of that front lead pack as well, with the Holden's fairy tale that was going on, and trying to be the mixer and all of that, especially starting on the front row with all of them lined up behind you.
Yeah, I mean, hasn't crossed our mind too much. Obviously, that's their thing, but we're just trying to win the race today and get both cars on the podium. But yeah, I mean, wasn't our intention to spoil any parties or whatever, but ideally we would have. But yeah, I guess it's very fitting for the send-off and into Gen 3.
Can you give me a number out of 10 for how you reckon your year went?
I don't know, where did we finish? 4th? 6 out of 10 then? That's backwards out of 10.
That makes sense.
I don't know. I think we had some ups and downs. We started off quite strong, and then I think we lost our way with a couple things, which we probably reversed for this round that I think we can look at for next year. So we gained a lot more speed back this round, and we've probably gone missing for 4 or 5. So I think we've got an answer to that, which is good, but a little bit too late. But yeah, no one was catching Giz this year in the championship. It was always a race for second. But yeah, probably would have been good to get a couple more wins and in for a shot with it. But overall, my best year yet. So we'll keep on trucking.
Good job, man. Well done.
Cheers.
All right, let's open it up.
Brock, your second half of the season probably wasn't as good as the first half, and yesterday you talked about being your worst race ever. So how did you pull it together last night, and what went on to bring you out today in the way you were?
I think the second half's been better than the first half. We've been more competitive, a lot closer to the front, and probably more consistently in that top 6, 7. So felt like the pace has been there. Just had that early podium in Tassie, which probably got everyone's hopes up. But no, I think we've been pretty strong. From probably Tail and Ben onwards, we've been in the mix. Gold Coast was a tough one. Yesterday, came out and said it was my worst race because ended up in the fence twice and made a lot of mistakes. But I knew if I didn't make the mistakes today, we had a fast car and qualified reasonably well, and then did a good lap in the shootout, and it just sort of all fell into place. So I think all the stars aligned today, but it's good to get the first win, the monkey off the back, and hopefully we can kickstart next year and on the right foot.
But what about the mental application of coming back from yesterday? I mean, you obviously weren't happy with yourself, but you've come out today and you've driven like you belong there.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's a reset. I mean, we qualified Friday for Saturday's race, so we were pretty doomed after Friday afternoon, and we just had to get through yesterday's race, and today was a new day and new qualifying and new opportunities. So we knew we could do it. It was hard to drive in the first race, but it was fast. So we knew if I could make it a little bit easier, the pace was certainly there, and it just had to put it together.
Brock, you said post-race in the broadcast that you wanted to show that you can be a challenger next year. Do you feel like you can make that leap to be a title challenger in 2023?
I'd like to hope so, but it's small steps at a time. But no one knows what's going to happen next year yet. I mean, we go to Gen 3 and it's a big reset for everyone. So, I'm sure we're all hoping that we can challenge next year, but maybe it's someone we're not even thinking about. So we'll wait and see. certainly a good way to end the year, though, and hopefully, you know, as I said, got the experience leading the race now and got the first win emotions out of the way.
Brock, obviously you're in the sport because you think you can win, and now you know. Does this break the ice for you? Does this give you just renewed confidence for the future? The fact that you've always thought this is possible, but it's actually happened.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it certainly gives me the confidence that I can do it and that I can, make it happen when I was out front. Today was just about minimising mistakes and, I only had one real mistake where I felt like I was going to go on the fence, and luckily I saved it. So, it's certainly good, and now I can sleep well in my off season, be more motivation to come back stronger next year.
Chad, I'll go to you because I've asked you this question every day this week. The track again and the condition of the track. Was it a case of today you were just getting caught on the whole aero burn off the tyres, or was it just lethal offline, as lethal as yesterday?
The track condition itself was better today. I felt like there was less marbles offline. There was still some there, and the track was still breaking up, but the bulk of it was yesterday. And I feel like the track grip was definitely a little bit more down today compared to what it has been before it broke up. So what we required from the car today was a fair bit different as well, from into quali, into races and stuff like that. But I just think the temperature, even up a little bit higher today, it was way quicker for the tyre to go off and get hot. I felt like by the end of a lap and a half after the restart there, behind Brock, I was hurting, and then you just see those gaps starting to fall out. Cars behind are doing the same thing, and these cars, that's why we're going into next year, because the racing is poor in them. So tyre temp was probably the biggest thing, not aero. So the car out front was always in the prime position.
Okay, last call.
I'll ask this of all of you. What do you think this weekend and what we saw with this weekend and the crowd and the event has going to mean for the championship going on with all the changes and everything that's going to happen next year? What sort of platform does it leave us with?
I don't know if that's a pretty tough question to answer. There's a lot going on in that. But look, I think first of all, this event coming back is amazing. It's definitely a little bit different to get my head around that this is the finale now and not our opening race, because I always like to talk about the history in our championship of, watching our heroes going around, and it was always Adelaide was the first event, and then, wherever the finale ended up being, which was Oran Park back in the day, in the era that I loved the most. But I think we'll get used to this event being the finale. You need a big opening race and you need a big finale race. Obviously, it's hard to anything to top Bathurst, but here this weekend, to see the amount of South Australian people here that was so stoked to have their race back, yelling out to their premier on the podium. Not very often politicians actually get cheered, so that was quite interesting. But all the interstate people and that travel for this event is unbelievable. So South Australia is a great place to visit, and a lot of people take that opportunity around this race as well. So where the championship is, there's a lot to play for if there was points on the line. Saw it out there yesterday. A lot of mistakes happened today. This track bites. But it would be awesome to see a championship come down to the line for this event. I'm sure it would be a different spectacle again.
Brock, your thoughts on finishing here in Adelaide?
Well, I've never started here in Adelaide, so it's sort of a first for me. But it's good on the government for bringing it back. I was at breakfast this morning. Someone said to me, "Oh, we're so glad to have you guys back." So just seems everyone gets behind it. Everyone loves it down here, and everyone's missed it for a few years. So I think it's great to be back. There's a lot of fans out there today, and thankfully a lot of Holden ones as well. So, it's an awesome place to race. I'll start Newcastle next year, and probably no better place to end.
Anton, how have you found the reception?
Pretty much the same as what they said. It's pretty good. Adelaide's always been a really cool event. Obviously, memories from your debut here and stuff like that. So to have it as a finale, like Chad said, you want big openers, you want big finales. Obviously, Newcastle and here have a high element of risk and you're trying to collect points and all that. So if it did come to a title battle here, I think it would be pretty hectic. Obviously, we've seen today the things that can go wrong so quickly around here. So if you had a championship on the line, it would make a massive spectacle. So hopefully we got that next year.
Brock, one thing to wrap us up here. Big day for Triple Eight's Junior Academy, winning the Dunlop Series as well. You won that last year. Just a word on Declan Fraser, your good buddy.
Yeah, it's awesome to see him win the championship, and they've been the shining light this weekend. We've all been struggling. GT and Supercars, we've been having a tough weekend, but he's done a great job all year. The biggest thing's the work that he's put in this year is, he's paid himself to come to all of the rounds and listen and sit in debriefs and listen what's going on between myself and Shane, and he's putting in the work. So he 100% deserves it. I think he showed this weekend, that he's basically the full package. He qualified on pole, he got good race starts and kept it clean and did exactly what he needed to do. So, there's no main seats left, which I think's silly. I think the champion should always be promoted, and the way he's done it this year, I think he should be in a good team. So, unfortunate to not see that happen, but I'm sure he'll pop up somewhere.
Would you like to be teammates with him in the main game one day?
Don't mind.
Perfect. Hey guys, thank you for your time. I'll invite our journos to stick around because we're going to bring in Shane Van Gisbergen and Jamie Whincup in a moment's time. But thank you to our top three, Tay. Well done. Guys, thank you for your time. Appreciate you coming up here to talk to the press. We've got Shane Van Gisbergen, our champion, 3-time, and the team boss from the winning champion team, Jamie Whincup, is here as well. And dead smack in the middle, we got ourselves a championship trophy, which we love to see. First of all, let's get to the good stuff. That skid. How'd you do it? How did you manage to keep the car doing a burnout while you weren't in it?
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to do something to beat Engel's skid for that. His skid's all-time best ever, so hopefully it rivaled it. I don't know. I haven't watched it yet, but yeah. Oh, thank you. It was pretty cool.
Was there a secret to it?
No, we didn't do anything special for it. The car was as normal, and yeah. Kept spinning. It was cool.
The crowd loved it. Everyone went absolutely bananas. Hey, mate, well done. What's it like doing that and celebrating the championship but not having the race sort of go the way you wanted? Does it make it a little bit of sweet, or do you just get it out of your mind and just party?
Yeah, I sort of thought about it the last few laps and settled down. Like, the decision is what it is. I haven't watched it yet. For me, Lee, he went wide to get a run and understeered on the marbles, so I just went, and didn't pass him, but because he went wide and made an error, in my view, yeah. But if I was right or wrong, it doesn't matter. But waiting 15 laps or 10 laps is just average. Like, yeah, that was a pretty average call. Did all that work, and it was a lot of fun. Get back to the podium, and then they give you a drive-through so much later. That's a pretty average call, but it's what it is.
You said something I think it was in your quick interview that you do after your lap when you're talking to Scafie in the shootout, and you said that it was like your head wasn't quite in it or something like that. You had some stuff running through your head.
Yeah, it's been a mental weekend. I'm never changing the number again. I pressed my pit limiter as I come into pit lane at the end of the session, and it didn't engage, or I haven't pressed it hard enough. So I've come in at the speed and then just cruised down pit lane and gone, oh shit, it's not pit limiter. I was doing 47 or 46, whatever it is, I was speeding. And normally that's just a fine. And they've come back and they had a disqualification for us. And I go, shit, that's a bit harsh. Normally in practice or qualifying, it's a fine. So they argued it, but I was in the steward's room 5 minutes before the shootout, and then normally I'm preparing, thinking of my lap, running through my lap, and all that was going on. So I wasn't very prepared for the shootout. For
the year as a whole, 2022, you're going to look back on this one fondly when you're an old man?
Oh yeah, I'll forget about this weekend pretty quick. Like, I've tried to take in the moments this year and enjoy them a lot more. This year meant a lot, like huge changes with the team. Obviously, teammate changing, boss changing, new teammate, new engineer. Like, it's been a huge year of change and an exciting challenge. And yeah, to have so much change and to do what we did this year has been an amazing feeling. And we've had a lot of challenges this year, but not consistent ones. And that's, I think, been the difference, our consistency and just me turning up every weekend ready to do my best. And I've taken each weekend individually and just wanted to do my best at it and score as many points as possible. There's probably a couple of blemishes middle of the year. Winton and Darwin, I probably didn't keep things simple and could have done better there, but the rest of the year has been great.
Just on that changing of the guard, the next two blokes coming up the ranks with Brock Feeney getting the win today and Fraser getting the championship. Pretty impressive junior academy they've got going on there.
Oh yeah, like the future's pretty awesome. I need to keep focused and keep those guys pegged back a bit, but it's been great working with Brock. He's been getting better and better, and sometimes I miss getting pushed by this guy, but Brock, he out-qualified me today, so there's always something to learn, and even if I'm faster, there's sometimes one corner he does randomly because he has no preconceived ideas and it's faster. So I have to adapt to that. So, yeah, it's been good to learn off him, but with him getting faster and faster, hopefully we're pushing each other next year. Next year is going to be super important with the new car, and we need to push each other to develop it. So I'm glad he got a year in a well-sorted car before next year.
Good job, mate. Congratulations on
Thank you.
another awesome year. Jamie, wow, what a year for you. First one as team boss, and you just about swept the whole set of things you can win. So just your thoughts on 2022.
Yeah, obviously incredible year, really, when there's three major trophies for the year. It's the Drivers' Championship, Bathurst. Some drivers will debate which one is bigger out of those two, but then there's a close third, which is the Teams' Championship. So any year you can win those is an unbelievable year. But then we grabbed Super 2. Mitchie dominated with the media award. Like Scooter won the best presented. Like it's just what I mean. It's been a bit of it's been unbelievable. But as I've always said, that Triple Eight is run by the people and certainly the management team. That it's not run by me. It's run by the managers and. RD has engineered a fantastic group of people, and we just went out there and swung freely and executed all year. There's been so many extraordinary performances within the group, big, small, ones that are highly publicised on TV, ones that go on behind the scenes. But it's just been a full group effort. We're both striving for the one goal, and we all got there together, which is something I'm extremely proud of.
You took a few years as a driver to hit your straps. As a boss, what are the things that you reckon you personally need to work on? Still to have to learn.
I was just listening to Shane talk about the penalty and the mistakes and whatnot, which is sort of, I don't feel like it's warranted in a moment like this. He's won 20 or 21. Am I selling you short? It was 20? 21. I thought I was selling you short. 21 races this year. You know what I mean? There's not much negative going on with that. It was a truly incredible performance. And then to see Brock grind it out all year, young kid, he's come under plenty of pressure, no doubt. Stepping into the best team or the number one team from last year, and he had all the pressure on him, and he's come out and won the final race. So. What do I? Of course, everyone's got their strengths and weaknesses. I got plenty to improve on, but I'll chip away at that, and we'll as a group we'll keep getting better.
Another word on Brock and what he achieved today, just amazing.
Yeah, he ended P6 in the championship. I can't remember the last rookie, especially being 19. Well, he's 20 years old, but we signed. He did half the year at 19 years old, and to run P6 in was what I regard as the toughest touring car championship in the world. I think that's really impressive. I can't think of another rookie since probably Ambrose, and Ambrose was quite established when he joined Supercar. So no, I think he's done an exceptional job. Of course, we're harsh on him. We want him to get better. He's positions himself a little bit wide at times, which is what all rookies do. He probably should have been hard in the fence 3 or 4 times this year, but didn't. It didn't happen. He got caught up in the only incident really was getting caught up in somebody else's crash at the Gold Coast. But apart from that, he's just executed and done everything that's asked for him. So he knows what he does well. He knows where he needs to improve, and we're just going to give him the tools to do the job and to keep improving. And hopefully he can win this guy in a few years to come.
Absolutely. Okay, let's open it up.
I've got one for each of you. Jamie, talking about Brock, I mean, the guy next to you's got 21 wins this year. How important was it for Brock just to chalk up that one victory with such a dominant teammate in such a strong car?
I don't think it had a huge effect. It's going to give him massive confidence. It's going to be a huge plus that he's won today, and he goes into the off season knowing he's good enough to win a supercar race. But he certainly didn't need to this year. He's six in the championship. He's done a fantastic job. So it's what happened today is just a bonus for me.
Thank you. And Shane, you talked about prep for qualifying, but so that burnout, how much prep and thought, how much of pre-planning went into that? Because it's pretty elaborate.
Yeah, not much. I just like winging stuff and going loose, and ask some friends what I should do. Because again, I just wanted to beat Engels' thing. I've done some good skids in my time, but I knew I wouldn't be allowed, and I'm probably not flexible enough to sit out of the car like that. So yeah, I wanted to come up with something, but yeah, I didn't plan it too much, and just he told me to do, or Tunners told me to do some skids around the trophy, and I didn't really want to do that. I was shit scared about hitting it. He wanted me to hit it because it would be good TV, but yeah, I just wing that stuff, and whatever happens, happens. Yeah.
Thank you.
I was just so happy that the car didn't slowly kink left and nick off down to turn one. That wouldn't have been funny.
Shane, sorry, just to clarify, how did you actually...
I don't want
Keep the
anyone to
wheels
copy it,
spinning.
so I'm not saying.
Oh, okay. You're deliberately not saying.
Yeah.
So, Gen 3
Yep.
next year, is that really going to decide your long-term future in supercars?
Yes, yeah, I think so. We've had pretty good chats about extending, but yeah, I want to wait and race the car. Like, there's so much talk about what's going to happen and how it's going to be, and I honestly don't know. I haven't driven the car since April. Wasn't great in April. They've made a lot of changes, probably positive, but for some reason, most of the established guys haven't been allowed to drive it or help develop it, which is fair, fine, whatever. But yeah, it's a big thing to commit to in the future if it's no good. But yeah, I really want Gen 3 to succeed. I want it to be awesome. I want the racing to be great, and yeah, I'd love to be part of it. The challenge is good. It's going to be very close next year. It'll hopefully bring the teams together, but yeah, hopefully it just makes good racing, and then the series will go bonkers again, and that's what I'd really love to see. But I'd just be patient with it.
Okay. Jamie, that could present a dilemma for you, though. If he doesn't like Gen 3, have you got a plan B? Because presumably you'd want to re-sign him.
Yeah, of course. Shane's got a gig at Triple Eight for as long as he needs or as long as he wants to, you know. So, but no one, we don't employ or contract anybody who doesn't want to be here. So we're giving him the opportunity to experience Gen 3 to decide which way we're going to go. But I'm confident in the car. Triple Eight has designed the car from the ground up. We're confident it's going to be a good thing to take 3/4 of the aerodynamics off and to make the thing light, fast, noisy. The cars look great. I think it's going to be a good thing. So I'm not too concerned at this stage.
But it will be a big change and a lot of new stuff. Do you expect next year is going to be, well, it's going to be more difficult for your operation to repeat the astounding success you had this year?
Yeah, for sure. It's another challenge. We experienced plenty of challenges over the last 15 years. So this is another one, which is fantastic. Keeps the engineering group alive. Gives us all a big carrot in front of us. No doubt. There's going to be some tough times. We're going to be burning the midnight oil at the start of next year, making our cars more competitive than everybody else. But that's what means everything at the end of the day. It's not the bank account. It's not really the trophy cabinet. It's those times where you grind it out and try to and do absolutely everything you can to be better than the next guy or girl in pit lane. So I'm looking forward to that challenge at the start of next year.
Jamie, the comparison's sort of been made to 2006 and this event when you won your first race as a first-year Triple Eight driver against a very established teammate. Were you having sort of flashbacks watching Brock out there today?
Oh, definitely. RD said to me straight after the race, he's like, mate, this is exactly the same as you in 06. The young kid, first year in the team. and got the chocolates at one of the biggest races of the year. So, no, it was it's like history's repeating itself, which is fantastic. I couldn't be happier for him. You know, he's a good kid, comes from a good family, comes from a good crop, and we've given him an opportunity, and he's grown it out and got a win in his first year. What an awesome story.
And Shane said that he, would like to be pushed by his teammate again, like he was, when you were still racing. Can you see Brock making the steps he needs to make to get to that point? Do you think that could happen as soon as next year, where he might start to give Shane some more headaches in terms of head-to-head in outright pace?
Yeah, I think he's got all the ingredients to be able to do the job. Not sure when that'll be. Not sure if that'll be in 3 months' time, a year, or 2 or 3 years. But I've always said if any team's going to take on a rookie, at least give him 2 years to prove himself. It's such a tough competition. By the time you learn all the circuits and learn the car, learn all the competition, it takes years. So we've committed to him for 2 years. So he's got all of next year to be able to keep on that learning process. But by the end of next year and the start of the following, it's he's going to be needing to get consistent results week in, week out. But we wouldn't have put him on if we didn't think he's got all the recipe to be able to do the job.
Shane, congratulations.
Thank you.
How do you look at this season as a complete entity, and what do you look at the highlight, and what are you going to build into next year from that? What's the lesson learned for next year?
Yeah, to sum it up, it's just been amazing. Like, as I said, with so much change, and then learning with Andrew. Andrew's a pretty amazing character and comes from a very different team and culture, and how he's learnt to work with JJ and the other engineers and the whole team, how it flows, has been really cool to be a part of. So learning that relationship, I think he was pretty surprised after the first debrief. I think I say a lot less words than Percat does to describe understeer. So it took him a bit while to get used to that. But it's been amazing working with him. And yeah, like the highlight is also with him, like winning Pukekohe is easily the highlight, but how emotional he was. He was obviously pretty close with JR, and he won the first one with Bridie as well, the JR trophy. So yeah, sharing those type of moments with someone like that is, it's epic. Like, you let that stuff sink in, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, there's always stuff to improve on. Still made mistakes. Sydney in the wet, race 2, made a bad call with the wets when I spun out, and probably could have managed my jet lag better after Darwin, and work with the team better with our promo stuff for the Darwin after Le Mans. But there's always stuff you learn along the way. So yeah, but these new challenges, the new car, everything, there's always something every year in motorsport. The way the sport evolves so quick, the new challenges keep it interesting. So yeah, I'm fired up to get into next year.
And ignoring the races today for you and yesterday for you, this event, what do you think this event is going to mean for the platform of supercars?
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic place to finish out a season, and hopefully next year, if maybe I win it a round to go, would be great again. But if not, this is a perfect place for a cliffhanger. Like, the races we've had this weekend are epic. Like, it's great for the sport. There was so much action, and what they've done to bring the event back here. Like, I've never heard a premier get chaired here before. That was yeah. It was that's an amazing. It's what it means to people to have this event back. I remember I come here after the Wednesday after Bathurst to do the media interviews. Like, the town was all for it. How enthused everyone was to have this race back. It's a very cool feeling, and it's what we need. So hopefully it's a great place to finish out the season for years to come.
Shane, congratulations.
Thank you.
Just your thoughts on Declan Fraser's Super 2 title, and also having him alongside the team so much this year. What's it been like for you guys?
Yeah, it's awesome, and he's been at almost half-hour debriefs as a fly on the wall, just learning and just soaking everything in and asking questions. And like, I really don't mind helping young kids that ask for help, and everything he asks, I'm open to. And we did some laps at Norwell last week, and not just to change stuff for this week, but just to, as a check-up and see how he's going. And but yeah, attitude is everything. Like, he's a awesome young kid, putting everything out there and creating a good group of people around him. And it's a shame he's not going to be on the grid next year. He's definitely good enough for it, but hopefully he gets a shot in a good wild card and then gets a drive the next year. But yeah, pretty amazing. And he was under so much pressure this weekend and did it in quali, 2 poles. It was really cool to see.
Thank you. And to Jamie, Jess Dane has been managing that team. So, yeah, your thoughts on how Jess has managed that program for Declan this year?
Yeah, herself and another guy, Jimmy, have done a pretty amazing job. Our whole Super 2 team fell apart or got poached or decided to move on after, I think, the second round this year. So we had Matty Cook and two mechanics all depart to another team, which left us in a little bit of dire straits. So Jess and Jimmy put their hand up. We rebuilt that team. So to come from where we did and then to win the championship with Declan is unbelievable. And I just want to second what Shane said. He's a good kid. He's got good morals. He comes from good crop. His parents are fantastic. So he's been at every debrief. We've just given him as much information as we can and tried to grow him as much as possible. We haven't signed him up for 5 or 10 years, and we're not hiding. We're not trying to keep him secured or anything. We just want to see him do well. And today was fantastic, and we'll keep trying to give him opportunities where we can to keep growing as a athlete and a human being.
Last call, everybody. I'm already looking forward to practice 1 at Newcastle and demanding to know if Shane likes Gen 3 yet. But that's going to be a fun subtext for next year. Guys, well done. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.